The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. The movie starts with a recap text crawl of the first film, pretty much imploring that this shit is still going on.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre has not stopped. It haunts Texas. It seems to have no end.
After the intro, we see these two middle-aged college students driving down an old Texas road, shooting the shit out of mailboxes. The two jackholes switch the radio station to K-Okla, where we're introduced to the radio station DJ, Stretch, played by the Scream Queen herself, Caroline Williams. And these fuckers are basically calling in to be trolls pretty much.
No, baby! We're on the road to Texas all you weekend in Dallas!
When they see a pickup truck in the other lane and decide to play a little chicken with them. Shouldn't have done that, you fucks. They're definitely gonna regret that shit later on. Oh boy, will they. This is where we also meet LG, and he's Stretch's assistant. Later on that night, Stretch gets yet another call from the obnoxious douchebag duo from earlier. But don't worry, their call is about to get cut short. Literally.
Bright lights, big titties!
When they come to a bridge, and they see a truck just sitting there with its lights off. Its lights all kick on, blinding the two fucks. The truck pulls in front of them, blocking the road. Then, jackass number one decides it's a good idea to start yelling at the guy in the truck.
Back up, big fucker!
That doesn't turn out very well. It's a dead man's party when they see a corpse just cutting a rug in the back of the pickup.
Hey, get out of here!
Then the corpse guy pulls out a chainsaw and cranks that sumbitch. All the while, Stretch is still on the line, listening to all this shit. The chainsaw-wielding corpse man starts to saw the fucking door of the car. Then the genius riding shotgun gets the bright idea to shoot the maniac. That really pisses the maniac off, and that's when we get this iconic kill here. I think he took a little too much off the top. The car then crashes, and we cut to Stretch, who's still on the other line, and she's basically just in awe of the chaos she just heard over the radio. Did she just hear someone being murdered? We then cut to the scene of the crash, where we meet Lieutenant Lefty Enright, played by the iconic Dennis Hopper.
Hell's exactly what they raised.
And he's been out on the hunt for the last 14 years looking for the chainsaw killers, ever since they killed his nephew Franklin all those years ago. Yeah, that's right. He's the uncle of Franklin and Sally Enright from the first film, and he won't rest until he's avenged Franklin's death. We then cut to Stretch with her booty shorts, knocking on Lefty's hotel room door. We totally get a Toby Hooper cameo. Yep, that's him right there. You crazy goof. She's basically here to tell Lefty about the interesting phone call she got last night. Instead of just listening to the evidence that's clearly on the tape, he just kicks her ass out. We then cut to one of the most amazing French fry houses I have ever seen. He's even got the ketchup on there for the smoke.
Fry house?
It looks like we're just in time for the chili cook-off, where we meet the winner of the contest, Mr. Drayton Sawyer, played by the late, great Jim Sydow. Yep, that's right. He's the crazy fuck from the first movie. That's when we find out the secret to this award-winning chili. Holy shit! Is that a fucking tooth?
Hard shell peppercorns.
Down at Cut Right Chainsaws, good old Lefty is gearing up for his crusade.
Gonna do you for?
He then practices his chainsaw swinging abilities. Cut back to K-Okla, where we see Lefty sitting on the steps. When Stretch pulls up, and I guess he doesn't think she's full of shit anymore.
Oh, you want to hear it now?
He wants her to play the tape of those boys being murdered.
The killers are here. Kill sites have been clustered all over northeast Texas the last 2 years.
In hopes of maybe finding some leads or something? Somewhere down the road, we see that crazy fuck Drayton Sawyer just cruising and celebrating his win when he hears something that sounds oddly familiar on the radio. Now Stretch is the murderous cannibalistic family's next target. So it's 12 midnight and there ain't nothing going on.
It's 12 midnight. Ain't nothing going on.
When LG decides to go get them some coffee, and he leaves Stretch all alone in the radio station that's in the middle of nowhere.
Hey, Oakland, this is Stretch. Hello?
She then realizes that she has an uninvited guest.
Whoa. So this is Radioland, huh?
And amidst the pink and green glow, we see this really creepy guy with what seems to be a clothes hanger in his hand.
Music is my life.
This crazy looking motherfucker is called Chop Top, played by the one and only Bill Moseley. More well known for his role as Otis from House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. Yeah, this guy, you know him.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
After an awkwardly short tour of the office, Stretch tells this crazy asshole that it's time for him to get the fuck, but good old Chop Top here has one more surprise for her before he heads out. Damn! Leatherface is going around giving out free haircuts, huh? Leatherface chases her into some sort of a storage room or something, and after trying to jack Torrance the steel door, poor Leather's chainsaw dies. LG comes back to bring Stretch her coffee when he meets Chop Top and company.
Lick my plate, you dog dick!
Then, it's hammer time. All the while, Stretch thinks she's safe in the storage room when this happens. Then we get this awkward scene where Leatherface pretends to fuck her with the chainsaw? Yeah, the fuck is going on here? After old Leatherface blows his load, he destroys a bunch of shit, does a little jig with the chainsaw, and then he bounces out. Before they leave, Leatherface leads Chop Top to think that he murdered her ass.
You got her? Did you get her good? Slap me fire.
For some reason, she chases after them? She follows them out to some old abandoned tourist attraction, when all of a sudden she realizes that there's some headlights creeping up behind her. And she finally realizes that it's Lefty, for she falls through a trap door. And Lefty goes to help her up with a stick, or he thinks it's a stick, but it's no fucking stick. It's a human fucking skeleton arm. She then goes a rolling and a sliding down into the mysterious hellish pit. Watch out, you murderous cannibal fucks! Lefty's coming for you! Ha! After Lefty storms this motherfucker, he notices that one of the walls is bleeding. He kicks a hole in the wall, and a bunch of blood and guts come spraying out. We then find Stretch literally hiding in a room, while she watches her friend LG being skinned alive right in front of her. And she's perfectly hidden too, until she accidentally knocks over some obnoxiously large meat hooks. Leatherface is about to cleave it up when she persuades him not to.
No good.
And then he's like, okay, I guess, and puts LG's skinned off face onto her face. Oh, fuck it. And then he dances and prances around the room with her in this super, truly morbid scene. He definitely doesn't want Drayton, and especially Chop Top, finding out that he let that bitch go. So he ties her up and hides her in a meat room. Then somehow, LG survived a chainsaw to the shoulder, like 300 or so strikes to the skull by a hammer. Oh, and being skinned a fucking live. Survived all that shit to cut Stretch free. Yeah, right. Now, with LG finally dead, like dead, it's time to check the fuck out of here. Meanwhile, Lefty's bringing down the motherfucking house. Stretch attempts to make a run for it, when Leatherface and the crew see her scurry by.
Big crazy booger.
We cut back to Lefty, who's still going apeshit with the chainsaw, when he discovers the remains of his nephew Franklin, complete with his wheelchair and flashlight.
I'll take you back to hell! I'll take you out!
Stretch is just losing her fucking mind as she treks further and further into this hellish underground labyrinth, when she runs right into her new boyfriend. Leatherface has her cornered when the two other Sawyer boys come walking up, and that's whenever they find out about Bubba's little secret.
Bubba's got a girlfriend.
After some mental and verbal abuse, we get one of the most iconic lines of the entire franchise.
The Saw is family.
Chop Top then knocks her the fuck out, and when she comes to, she's tied to a chair, and it's fucking dinner time. The boys then wheel out Grandpa and his 137-year-old ass, and now it's time for the main course. Grandpa's getting all MC Hammer in this bitch when Lefty comes in to crash the motherfucking party. And then we get one of my other favorite bits of dialogue.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, and from where I sit, there just ain't enough damn dog.
Lefty then sees Stretch on the ground over the bucket, and that really sets his piss to a boil. He then rips old Drayton a new asshole. This gives Stretch an opportunity to get away, but Chop Top is in hot pursuit. We're then treated to a badass chainsaw duel. Instead of Duel of the Fates, it's Duel of the Chainsaws. Fuck yeah. Then, Lefty shoves a chainsaw right through Leatherface's fucking stomach. Drayton's under the table bleeding out of his ass when he finds a grenade on old Nubbins and pulls the pin. Grandpa goes all Rambo, tries to throw the hammer at Lefty, but he misses and it ends up smoking Leatherface right in his fucking head, causing Leatherface to fall, sending the chainsaw through the table and into the ass of Drayton cowering beneath, in turn causing him to drop the grenade, blowing them all sky high. Meanwhile, Stretch is still playing tag with old Chop Top. He's chasing her up this narrow, steep staircase, just slicing up her back and her legs along the way. She breaks away from his punk ass and makes it to the top, and that's where she makes a horrific discovery. Chop Top has her cornered.
Get in, girl.
When all seems hopeless, she grabs the chainsaw from mummified Grandma, cranks that bitch up, and gives him what for, ending this nightmare. Then, we get this badass primal battle cry, and that's the end of the film. So do I recommend this movie? Is Seal as mean as a stingbat?
Now, you're getting as mean as a stingbat, Seal.
Hell yeah, he is. So, yes, I definitely highly recommend this film. I mean, if you're a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, that's a reason right there. If you're a fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, chances are you definitely have already seen this film and know just how badass it really is. And the usage of lighting, like the way that the film is lit, they have these really awesome neon greens and pinks. All the tones and the colors just give it that really creepy atmosphere. It just looks great. The soundtrack is fucking amazing as well. They have a lot of really good bands on there. And I also gotta mention, special effects makeup was done by the one and only legendary Tom Savini. This movie's got a lot of really awesome shit going on for it. So I definitely highly recommend you guys check this movie out. Scott 86, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Go see what all the buzz is about. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Monster Mash.
Let's get